what the universe does to rare souls before sending them the right person. As Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. For rare souls, this journey often feels longer and lonelier, especially when it comes to love. But what if the universe is not withholding the right person from you, but preparing you for them? Today, on Spiritual Wisdom, we'll explore what the universe does to rare souls before aligning them with the right connection, a love that transcends the ordinary. Do you feel like you've been tested in love? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your story might resonate with someone walking the same path. 1. Solitude is preparation, not punishment. Rare souls feel unseen in love, not because they are lacking, but because they carry within them a refusal to settle for what is shallow and fleeting. And this resistance is both their challenge and their gift. The universe understands the depth of their longing and the clarity of their vision, so it does not hand them quick companionship or superficial bonds to ease their temporary loneliness. Instead, it gives them solitude, which feels at times like silence, distance, and waiting, but is in truth the highest form of preparation. This solitude is not punishment. It is refinement, a necessary filter that strips away illusions, heals the wounds of old patterns, and teaches the soul to distinguish between conditioned desires and its truest longings. In the language of spirituality, solitude is the furnace where the raw metal of the self is transformed into something enduring, something that can hold love without breaking. In the path of spiritual awakening, this stage cannot be avoided, for only through it does the soul learn the sacred difference between being alone and being lonely. During this season, the rare soul begins to see clearly that modern culture often mistakes attachment for love, validation for intimacy, and convenience for destiny. Social media floods us with images of couples and commitments, tempting us to measure our worth against timelines that were never meant for us. Yet this solitude is the universe's protection, ensuring that we do not enter partnerships that mirror our wounds instead of healing them. Carl Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Solitude is the mirror that makes the unconscious visible. It forces you to confront the shadows you once avoided, to sit with the ache of your unmet needs, and to grow strong enough to no longer seek completion outside yourself. It is a sacred silence in which you learn that being whole is not about another person filling your emptiness, but about discovering your fullness within. This refinement is not gentle. It can feel like fire. You may wonder why love seems to come easily for others while you remain waiting. But the truth is that your path requires greater patience because your love will carry greater depth. Diamonds form under pressure, pearls are born from irritation, and strong souls are forged in solitude. Without this process, many confuse temporary chemistry with lasting connection, repeating cycles of heartbreak because they never pause long enough to awaken. For the rare soul, solitude interrupts this cycle. It teaches you to recognize red flags without ignoring them, to value emotional resonance over external appearances, and to trust your intuition as the true compass. In this way, solitude becomes your teacher, guiding you toward a love that transcends mere compatibility and awakens something eternal. In modern life, this preparation can feel unbearable. but it is the very soil in which your destiny is planted. Each moment of solitude is a seed sown in silence that will bloom in divine timing. You are learning to hold conversations with your inner world, to align with your highest values, to heal generational wounds, and to establish boundaries that protect your spirit. This is the unseen work that prepares you not only to receive the right person, but also to keep them. Love without preparation is fragile, but love born out of solitude is rooted, stable, and radiant. Jung's wisdom reminds us that a relationship is not simply two people meeting. It is two souls carrying their inner worlds to each other. And for rare souls, that inner world must first be cultivated through solitude. So solitude becomes your silent ally. It whispers to you in the stillness that you are not behind, that divine timing cannot be rushed, that every moment spent in self-discovery is shaping you into the kind of partner who can love without fear and be loved without losing yourself. It is not a waiting room where nothing happens, but a sacred chamber where everything essential is unfolding. The universe, in its mysterious design, delays what you desire so that you may grow into who you were always meant to be. And when the right person arrives, they will not only meet you, but also recognize the rare soul you have become, refined by solitude, awakened by silence, and ready for a love that reflects the truth of your being. Have you ever experienced a season of solitude that felt like preparation rather than punishment? If so, share your story in the comments below so we can inspire one another. And if not, simply comment, "I will embrace solitude," to show your openness to this powerful journey. 2. The first test: radical solitude. This imposed solitude is not simply an empty stretch of time. It is a sacred initiation that forces rare souls to separate the shallow ache of loneliness from the deeper wisdom of self-connection. At first, it feels like abandonment, as if the universe has withdrawn love and left you suspended in silence. But in truth, it is teaching you to recognize your own energetic frequency and to stop shrinking yourself in order to fit into relationships that cannot hold your depth. Carl Jung said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you." And this test of solitude makes that statement real. It strips away the illusion that companionship alone can fill the void, showing instead that the only true remedy for emptiness is learning to inhabit your own presence with reverence and strength. When you are kept apart from lesser connections, you begin to see clearly how often you once settled for less than your worth. Solitude reveals the quiet places where you compromised your values, where you ignored your intuition, where you traded authenticity for temporary comfort. It challenges you to end this cycle by teaching you that love is not about escaping yourself, but about returning to yourself. Spiritual awakening begins here, in the silence of radical solitude, where you realize that being alone is not the same as being lonely. It is in this stillness that you tune into your unique vibration, a frequency that is rare and unrepeatable. And it is only by recognizing and protecting this vibration that you will ever be prepared to welcome the right person without losing yourself again. Carl Jung also reminded us, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And this privilege unfolds most powerfully in solitude. Like an instrument being tuned, Your soul requires stillness to find harmony. Without this tuning, relationships become discordant, repeating old patterns of chaos and disconnection. But when you endure solitude with patience and intention, you refine your frequency so that when the right soul finally enters, the connection is not ordinary but transcendent, resonating with the intelligent spiritual wisdom of the universe itself. Modern life resists this lesson, distracting you with constant noise, shallow attention, and temporary bonds, making solitude feel unbearable. Yet what feels unbearable is actually the birthplace of your highest strength. It is in this space that you confront your thoughts, your fears, your shadows, and your desires. You meet the parts of yourself you once ignored, and you discover what must be healed before love can truly flourish. Solitude becomes the teacher that shows you how to trust yourself, how to nurture your creativity, how to develop clarity of mind, and how to awaken your inner intelligence so you are no longer dependent on another's presence for wholeness. This is the alchemy of solitude, transforming emptiness into richness, silence into wisdom, and waiting into preparation. When you embrace it, you no longer see it as a void, but as the soil in which your spirit grows, roots deep enough to withstand the storms of love and life. The universe does not give this test to everyone, only to rare souls who carry within them a destiny that demands purity, strength, and unwavering authenticity. If you are in such a season now, know that you are not being punished, but prepared. Every moment spent in solitude is shaping you into a vessel capable of holding a love that matches your depth. You are learning to carry your own light so powerfully that when the right person arrives, they do not complete you, but join you, resonating with your frequency because you have already learned to stand fully in it. In this way, solitude ceases to be exile and becomes initiation, the first great step of the universe in guiding rare souls toward a love that transcends the ordinary and awakens the extraordinary. 3. The second test, the false twin flame. The second test the universe places before rare souls is the arrival of the false twin flame, someone who feels almost destined, profoundly familiar, and cosmically aligned. Yet in truth, they are not the true partner, but a reflection of the unconscious. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And this encounter proves the wisdom of his words. What you meet in the false twin flame is not genuine intimacy, but the mirror of your deepest projections, your longings, wounds, and unhealed shadows cast onto another person who seems to embody all that you desire. The connection feels magnetic because it is your own energy echoing back, disguised in human form, and in this reflection, the universe is asking you to see yourself more clearly. The challenge is to recognize the difference between real love and projection, between a bond that embraces your whole being and one that only accepts fragments of you. In the journey of spirituality and spiritual development, this moment is crucial, for it demands discernment and courage. A false twin flame might awaken intense emotions and feel like destiny, but beneath the passion lies incompleteness. They cannot hold all of you, only the parts that align with your unconscious needs or their own limitations. The universe uses this test not to punish you, but to train your soul to refuse half-formed love. For rare souls are not meant to settle for connections that only see them halfway. Through this test, you are refined, much like marble in the hands of a sculptor, chipped away until your truest essence can emerge. By facing the mirror of projection, you uncover your hidden patterns, your deepest vulnerabilities, and your unseen desires. The universe sharpens your inner vision so that when the right person appears, you will not confuse projection for presence. Jung observed that the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. The false twin flame may ignite sparks, but it is the true partner who brings transformation rooted in truth rather than illusion. If you find yourself in a connection that feels irresistible yet unstable, ask yourself whether this love invites wholeness or traps you in repetition. True love will never demand you to shrink, suppress, or divide yourself. It will not only mirror your light, but also embrace your shadows with compassion. The second test calls you to release the illusion of incomplete love, to resist the pull of projection, and to trust that something deeper awaits. When you refuse to settle, you show the universe that you are prepared for the one who can stand beside you in truth. The lesson is profound. Discernment is the guardian of love. The universe tests rare souls more severely because they are destined for deeper unions, and only those who pass through the fire of projection can carry the strength to receive love in its fullness. The false twin flame is not your ending, but your preparation, teaching you to separate infatuation from intimacy, shadow from substance, illusion from reality. When you endure this trial with patience, clarity, and integrity, you prove yourself ready for the true partner who will not complete you, but who will join you in a union where both souls are already whole. If you've ever faced the test of a false twin flame, share your experience in the comments so others can learn from your journey. And if you're ready to welcome the right connection, comment below. I trust the universe's timing. 4. The third test: self-sabotage when love arrives. When love begins to enter the life of a rare soul, it does not come wrapped in ease, but often in resistance. For Carl Jung reminded us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. These unconscious wounds surface as walls the moment true love appears. Rare souls, shaped by betrayal and disappointment, instinctively doubt, push away, or test the very person they have long prayed for, sabotaging the blessing before it can take root. Suffering has become so familiar that joy feels dangerous, and intimacy feels like a risk too heavy to trust. What looks like discernment is often fear, cloaked as wisdom. What seems like strength is sometimes only a defense against being vulnerable. This pattern of self-sabotage is not foolishness, but a reflection of the deep battle between longing and fear. On one side is the yearning for profound, authentic love. On the other is the terror of being broken again. In today's world, this shows up in ways that feel almost ordinary. Doubting the kindness of someone who genuinely cares, ghosting someone you secretly like just to see if they chase, setting impossibly high standards not because they matter, but because you fear being truly seen. These actions create distance, all while pretending to be noble caution. Yet this is the third test the universe places before rare souls. Can you allow yourself to receive healthy love? Or will you cling to your patterns until they drive away the very thing you desire? Spiritual awakening is not only about meditation, rituals, or sacred knowledge. It is about the courage to soften when every instinct wants to harden, to lean into trust when every wound whispers retreat. Jung taught that where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling, reminding us that true wisdom is the balance, the alignment of mind and heart that welcomes love with clarity rather than suspicion. To meet love with constant testing is to keep replaying old pain, but to meet love with openness is to step into transformation. The universe uses this phase to refine rare souls, not to punish them, but to stretch them beyond their fear of intimacy. Every time you push away someone who mirrors health and kindness, you are shown how much you still cling to the safety of suffering. Every time you sabotage connection out of mistrust, you are reminded that discernment without trust becomes a prison. But the universe does not send the right person to watch you destroy love with your past. It offers this test so you can recognize fear in disguise, rise above old defenses, and finally allow yourself to be loved without sabotage. The path forward is learning to notice your patterns with honesty and tenderness. When you catch yourself doubting every word, ask if it is wisdom or fear speaking. When you are tempted to test, ask if it is the truth or doubt you are seeking. To receive love is to admit that not every story ends in pain, that joy can be trusted, and that intimacy can be safe. This is the spiritual growth that turns awakening into wholeness. Passing this test means understanding that love is not a trap, but a liberation, and that the right person is not here to harm you, but to walk with you in strength, in wisdom, and in freedom. 5. The fourth test, vibrational recalibration. The fourth test the universe gives to rare souls before sending them the right person is vibrational recalibration, a complete reorientation of energy that strips away outdated identities, roles, and environments that no longer match the frequency of the life and love you are destined for. At certain points in your journey, people you once resonated with begin to fall away. Friendships that felt safe suddenly feel suffocating, and even the stories you once told yourself about who you are start to collapse. This is not cruelty, but preparation, because Carl Jung reminded us through his idea of individuation that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. To individuate is to shed illusions, even those that secretly inflate the ego, such as believing that being misunderstood makes you more worthy. The universe does not allow illusions to cross into a sacred union, because only authenticity can sustain love built on truth. Vibrational recalibration demands that you let go of identities that once gave comfort, but now block your expansion. Think of it as a software upgrade. The old code may have worked for a while, but it cannot run the new programs your soul is ready for. Many resist because the release of roles like the victim or the misunderstood one feels like death. But in reality, it is renewal. It is the pruning of dead branches so new growth can flourish. Søren Kierkegaard once said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." And this process is exactly that. Only by surrendering the past can you step into the future your soul longs for. Jung's spiritual wisdom shows us that individuation is radical honesty, requiring you to face the stories you repeat to yourself. I am unseen. I am always the victim. I am different, therefore special. These narratives may once have protected you, but they also kept you cycling in pain. Spiritual intelligence lies in realizing that clinging to suffering does not make you valuable. True worth is born when you embody authenticity without the need for victimhood. In modern life, this looks like walking away from environments that drain you, refusing to stay in relationships that demand you betray yourself, and no longer needing to broadcast wounds for validation because you understand that healing is a private, sacred act. This recalibration opens the space to attract love that resonates with your true frequency. Energy always seeks resonance, and if you continue holding on to old wounds, you will draw partners who mirror them back. But when you release outdated narratives, you magnetize someone who recognizes your wholeness instead of your brokenness. This is why the universe seems to delay love for rare souls. It is not denial, but refinement, ensuring that when love arrives, it is no longer another painful lesson, but a true meeting of equals. Through this process, you learn to stop mistaking intensity for intimacy, to stop equating chaos with depth, and to embrace the quiet constancy of love that is both deep and steady. The emptiness you feel during this stage is not punishment, but clearing, making space for alignment. The fading friendships, dissolving identities, and louder silences are all proof that the universe is preparing you. Jung warned, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Vibrational recalibration is the way fate becomes conscious choice, and choice becomes sacred love. The right person will not come to rescue an outdated version of you. They will arrive to meet the soul who had the courage to become fully authentic, and only then will you realize why this test was necessary. Leave a like and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss powerful insights like this. Type in the comments, "I am aligned with my highest vibration," to affirm your readiness for true love and spiritual growth. 6. The final test. Surrender the need for love. The universe's final test is not punishment, but transformation. And it asks you to stop chasing love as if it were something missing, and instead to embody it as who you are. For rare souls who have walked the difficult road of self-discovery and spiritual awakening, this step is about becoming whole without external validation. Carl Jung reminds us, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. In this awakening, you realize that love is not something to be found, but something to be lived. And when you begin to live as love itself, you no longer seek a partner to complete you. You radiate a presence that calls forth what truly matches your soul. This is not indifference or apathy. It is alignment. To detach from the hunger for love is not to shut yourself off, but to rise above the old patterns that once chained you. Spiritual development means standing in the fullness of your being, already whole, already loved, already chosen by the very source of life. The frequency you carry becomes your prayer, and the universe responds by bringing a mirror, not to your wounds, but to your strength. This is vibrational congruence, the profound truth that once you no longer need love, the right love arrives. It is not a love born of lack or fear, but of recognition, a connection between two souls who walk side by side, whole to whole, reflecting one another's growth and depth. As you reach this place, something powerful begins to unfold. The people who once drained your energy quietly fall away, and the karmic bonds that once entangled you dissolve. In their place appears someone who does not come to fix your brokenness, but to honor your completeness. Someone who resonates with the love you already carry. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And who you truly are is not a seeker waiting to be found, but the living embodiment of love itself. To surrender the need for love is to embrace the highest state of spirituality, where your very being is love, where your wholeness is no longer negotiable. The lesson the universe weaves through this final test is simple yet profound. Release the timeline. Release the attachment. Release the idea that love exists outside of you. Love was never withheld. It was always being cultivated within you, so that when it finally arrives in human form, it is not a savior you meet, but an equal. The test is not to prove yourself worthy of love, but to remember that you were never incomplete. By surrendering the need for love, you step into the truth that you are in love. And from that truth, the universe sends you someone who doesn't fill your emptiness, but amplifies your fullness. This is the sacred paradox reserved for rare souls. Only by letting go of the need do you finally receive the love that was always meant for you. 7. The arrival of soul-level partnership. Once all the tests of solitude, longing, and inner refinement are passed, true partnership arrives not with chaos, but with calm recognition, like two long-lost travelers meeting on the same path. Carl Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." And this is exactly what happens when the universe finally sends the right person to a rare soul. This love is not an obsession, nor is it about sacrificing your identity for the sake of union. Instead, it is peace wrapped in presence, freedom built on trust, and authenticity born from maturity. It is the kind of connection where both individuals can stand tall as whole beings, yet grow even more expansive together, celebrating each other's essence without fear of losing themselves. This partnership is marked not by drama, but by serenity. In a society that often mistakes turbulence for passion, rare souls discover that the deepest intensity comes through calm steadiness, through the quiet power of being seen, known, and accepted without conditions. Spirituality teaches us that when two awakened beings meet, there is no need for control, manipulation, or endless games. Instead, love becomes a sanctuary, a sacred space where both can rest, create, and thrive. Spiritual awakening prepares you for this by stripping away illusions of desperate attachment and showing you that authentic love exists where freedom and devotion walk hand in hand. In daily life, this reveals itself through respect for each other's individuality, the courage to grow side by side, and the ability to disagree without destruction. Psychological maturity lies at the heart of such a relationship. Jung's idea of individuation, the process of becoming whole within oneself, becomes the foundation of a bond that is neither dependent nor fragile. Two people who have faced their shadows and embraced their light no longer project unhealed wounds onto one another. Instead, they act as mirrors reflecting back strength, wisdom, and truth. Think of it like two instruments tuned in harmony, creating a melody that is powerful not because it is loud, but because it resonates with clarity. In modern terms, this looks like partners who support each other's dreams without envy, communicate openly without fear, and hold space for each other's transformation. without judgment. True freedom in love is not the absence of commitment, but the presence of trust. It is knowing you do not need to hold tightly to prevent loss, because love rooted in authenticity cannot be stolen or diminished. Just as a bird sings most beautifully when free, love flourishes when both partners feel unchained and supported in their highest expression. This balance between closeness and individuality, presence and space, is what gives the relationship its strength and grace. And through this balance, both discover that love is not about filling emptiness, but about expanding abundance. The universe delivers this kind of connection only after it has refined a rare soul to embody truth, strength, and clarity. What emerges is not a fantasy, but a sacred partnership that uplifts, liberates, and transforms. It is expansion instead of limitation, truth instead of illusion, and wholeness instead of dependency. You are not meant to disappear into love, but to uncover deeper layers of yourself through it. The universe teaches you that peace is passion, freedom is devotion, and growth is the truest expression of love. This is the essence of a soul-level partnership, not a prize for waiting, but the natural result of becoming whole and awakened within yourself, so that when the right person arrives, you can meet them not as half, but as complete. And so, the universe's way of shaping rare souls is not punishment, it is preparation for a love that reflects the depth of who you truly are. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to reflect on your own journey and the wisdom it carries. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who may need these words, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. And be sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos filled with insight and guidance for your path. Carl Jung, the player got played. They feel like a fool, and they can't find your energy anywhere. As Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. In life, many people think they can play with your energy, manipulate your light, or take your kindness for granted, only to realize too late that what you carry is rare and cannot be replaced. On Spiritual Wisdom, we're diving into why those who tried to play the chosen ones often end up feeling like fools, lost without your unique presence. Have you ever experienced someone realizing your value only after you walked away? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. Let's step into today's journey of awareness, power, and self-respect. 1. The player got played. They thought they had the upper hand, that they could toy with your emotions, manipulate your kindness, and walk away untouched. But what they didn't realize until it was far too late was that they weren't dealing with ordinary energy. They were standing in the presence of a spiritually awakened being, someone chosen, someone rare. And when a chosen one walks away, they don't slam the door. They vanish with grace, with quiet power, leaving behind a silence so loud it echoes through the life of the one who tried to control them. The player got played, not by tricks or games, but by their own blindness to the sacredness of what they once had. Because you weren't just a source of affection or attention, you were a mirror to their emptiness. And your presence exposed the void they had been trying to fill with ego and validation. By the time they come to realize the truth, your energy is already gone, moved on, untouchable. And that realization is brutal, that no one else carries the same frequency, that no one else burns with the same light. They start searching for your reflection in others, chasing shadows, haunted by a spirit they didn't understand until it was no longer available. They thought they could leave and come back, but your kind doesn't orbit in cycles. You evolve, and your evolution is their reckoning. That emptiness they feel, that's the cost of mistaking sacred energy for something common. You were the spiritual anchor they never deserved, the soul who brought healing they never asked for, but deeply needed. And now that you're gone, they're not just missing a person. They're grieving the presence of something divine. This is the truth about spiritual awakening. It teaches you that your worth isn't dependent on being chosen by others. It lies in knowing you were never meant to be understood by the unready. Your empathy, your clarity, your resilience, these are gifts, not weaknesses. And while others might see your kindness as an invitation to exploit, the universe sees it as proof of your ascension. So let them feel the void. Let them sit with their own consequences. Because in the end, the one who walks away with inner peace is never the fool. The real game was never about power or control. It was about soul. And yours? Untouchable, radiant, unforgettable. Keep walking. Don't look back. The ones who underestimated you will come to realize that the energy they thought was replaceable was, in truth, their greatest loss. Let that be your silence, your closure, your power. And if this speaks to your soul, whisper it to the universe now. I am a chosen one, not to prove anything, but to remember who you are. 2. Divine intervention. Divine intervention doesn't always look like a miracle. It often looks like rejection, silence, or betrayal. But when you're a chosen one, you begin to understand that every painful departure is a sacred redirection. The person who thought they could manipulate you, drain your light, or take your kindness for weakness ended up outsmarting only themselves. At first, they may have felt powerful, in control, like they had the upper hand. But now they sit in silence, haunted by a loss they can't explain because they can't find your energy anywhere else. No imitation, no replacement, no new connection can replicate the frequency you radiate. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And you, guided by spiritual wisdom, are becoming untouchable in your authenticity. Every time someone tried to play you, they unknowingly invited divine intervention into the game. This invisible intelligence steps in, reveals truth through discomfort, and forces you to see who people really are. It's not a punishment, it's a blessing in disguise. You were never meant to stay where you were tolerated. You were meant to grow where your light is honored. And now, while they try to replace the irreplaceable, you're being elevated into a season of alignment, healing, and spiritual expansion. Your energy is not common. It carries the wisdom of lifetimes, the vibration of truth, and the magnetism of a soul that's done the inner work. That's why they feel empty now. That's why nothing satisfies them. Because what they lost wasn't just a person, it was a divine experience. Spiritual awakening teaches you to see beyond appearances and recognize the lessons beneath the pain. You begin to thank the betrayal for setting you free. You begin to feel grateful for the silence because it taught you how loud your inner voice really is. And you realize that letting go, was never about losing, it was about returning to yourself. Intelligence, in the language of the soul, means knowing that not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Those who underestimated you, who misjudged your softness as weakness, are now facing the echo of your absence. And while they spiral in confusion, you rise in clarity. This is not about proving your worth to anyone. It's about remembering it for yourself. It's about walking away, not because you're bitter, but because you're finally aware of your value. You don't need closure when you have wisdom. You don't need apologies when you have peace. You don't need to look back when you're being guided toward everything that is meant for you. The universe doesn't take people from your life to hurt you. It removes them to protect you from smallness, manipulation, and energetic misalignment. So trust the unraveling, trust the loss, trust the delay, because behind it all is divine intelligence, orchestrating your transformation with precision. You're not just healing, you're evolving. You're not just letting go, you're making space. And you're not just surviving heartbreak, you're being called into a life where your spiritual intelligence, your rare aura, and your divine light are finally seen, respected, and celebrated. Your destiny is far too sacred to be delayed by anyone who couldn't recognize your brilliance. Have you ever had someone reveal their true intentions, only to realize it was the universe guiding you towards something better? Comment yes if you've experienced this awakening. Let's embrace this journey together and connect with those who truly value our light. 3. Lessons of loss and growth. They thought they had you figured out. To them, you were just another chapter in their game, another energy source to manipulate and discard once they got what they wanted. But what they didn't realize is that you were the entire story, an irreplaceable presence with a rare energetic signature that can't be duplicated. They saw your empathy as weakness, your patience as naivety, and your light as something they could consume at will. But the moment you walked away, something shifted. The silence you left behind began to echo louder than your presence ever did. They didn't just lose a person. They lost access to something sacred. Your essence, your spiritual power, your unmatched vibrational field that only spiritual development can refine. And now, they sit in that empty space, looking for someone else to replace what they didn't value, only to discover that no one else compares. In the world of spirituality, this is the moment when the mirror breaks. Carl Jung's truth rings louder than ever. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Their unconscious choices have caught up to them, and what once felt like control now feels like regret. They remember the way you listened without judgment, the way your energy calmed the chaos within them, the way your presence brought clarity they could never quite name. But instead of nurturing that connection, they played games with it. They didn't see you. They only saw what they could extract. And now they're forced to see the truth. You were the only one in their life not trying to control them, not trying to use them, but to truly see them. And that's the very love they weren't ready for. Eckhart Tolle reminds us, where there is anger, there is always pain underneath. These people acted from unhealed wounds, from scarcity, from emotional survival. They hoped your energy would heal what they refused to face within themselves. But energy doesn't lie, and your soul wasn't designed to be a bandage for someone else's brokenness. You weren't sent into their life to fix them. You were a divine appointment, a wake-up call, a mirror of what healing looks like. And when they chose to manipulate rather than meet you, when they failed to honor the spiritual contract that your connection offered, they forfeited their seat in your future. As they search for that energy in others, they'll find emptiness, because what you carry isn't something that can be replicated. It's the result of years of spiritual growth, inner alignment, and sacred self-worth. Marianne Williamson once said, "Nothing liberates our greatness like the desire to help, the desire to serve." That's what made you different. You loved from your soul, not your wounds. You gave from overflow, not expectation. And they couldn't understand that kind of purity because they weren't ready to rise to your level. They couldn't mirror your light because they were still trapped in shadow. But you kept growing. You didn't beg to be seen. You became undeniable. You didn't seek closure. You became the closure. While they spiral in their own lessons, you've stepped into alignment with your highest self. Wayne Dyer's words echo through your journey. How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours. And you reacted by rising, by choosing peace, by protecting your energy. You've entered a new timeline, one where only those who are emotionally and spiritually equipped can access you. That's not arrogance, it's evolution. That's not pride, it's sacred discernment. And now, your life reflects the truth. When you stop trying to prove your worth, the universe sends people who never question it. 4. Breaking the manipulation cycle. Manipulation is a twisted cycle that can feel nearly impossible to escape, especially when disguised by charm and subtle deceit. Those walking a spiritual path, or the chosen ones, are often drawn into this cycle, not due to weakness, but because manipulators target genuine, compassionate spirits. Manipulators follow a predictable pattern. They draw in others with promises and affection, then gradually withdraw, creating a dynamic where the chosen one is left chasing validation. This back and forth behavior doesn't just wear one out physically, but drains spiritual energy, eroding self-worth and shifting focus from self-growth to seeking their approval. For the chosen ones, however, the key to breaking free lies in understanding the manipulation cycle itself. Seeing the full picture allows for stepping off the manipulator's game board. Manipulators gain a sense of control by making you question your reality and by feeding off your reactions and vulnerabilities. But here's the truth. No matter how hard they try, they cannot replicate the energy you carry. That unique, authentic frequency is beyond their reach. And once you withdraw your energy, they'll feel a void they can't fill anywhere else. This awareness becomes your strength. The moment you realize their behavior is a tactic, you can reclaim your power by embracing your worth without their validation. In modern life, manipulation often blends into social media interactions and digital spaces, where people craft carefully curated versions of themselves. This can be especially challenging for chosen ones, who genuinely seek honesty and connection. Prioritizing your spiritual journey shields you from these illusions. By focusing on self-awareness and emotional resilience, you remove the very fuel manipulators need. You find a sense of calm as the charm that once captivated you loses its hold, and their energy begins to feel hollow. True spirituality becomes your armor. It centers you, making you immune to external validation or control. Embrace your journey with clarity and courage. Recognize that genuine connections arise when you stay true to your own values and energy. Manipulators may try to take a piece of your uniqueness, but the strength of your spirit is untouchable. Let your wisdom and inner peace guide you, knowing that your energy will attract those who respect and cherish your soul. 5. Karmic justice. When you step into your true powerful self, fully embracing your spiritual awakening, those who tried to manipulate and play you are now facing the consequences of their own actions. Life has a way of balancing things out, and this karmic retribution brings every choice full circle. Those who planted seeds of deception and manipulation are now reaping regret and emptiness, realizing they can't replicate the unique energy you brought into their lives. They feel the loss because your authentic vibe, grounded in truth and spiritual alignment, is irreplaceable. You've elevated yourself to a place where superficial games no longer affect you. With your awakened perspective, you attract only what resonates with your spirit, and this genuine energy cannot be faked. Now, they feel foolish for underestimating you, watching you rise as they stumble. They may search for connections to fill the void left by your absence, but nothing quite compares to the light they tried to dim. This is divine justice in action. You're protected, and any harm sent your way returns to its sender. The universe ensures that what's meant for you cannot be taken, that every experience has a purpose, and that every setback sets you up for something greater. Stay focused on your path, nurturing your soul, and let your growth speak for itself. In this journey of spiritual awakening, trust that those who truly resonate with you will come without games, honoring your worth and uplifting you along the way. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Not sure what to comment? Just type, "I reclaim my power," to let me know you watched until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights to strengthen your journey. 6. Irreplaceable energy. Losing the energy of a chosen one creates a shift that people rarely see coming, leaving those who once overlooked or played games with you feeling like they've lost something irreplaceable. Your essence, a spiritual and resilient force, was never ordinary, and while they may have taken it for granted, now they're left realizing how valuable it was. When they can't find that energy anywhere else, they're forced to confront their actions and understand that no amount of control or manipulation can replicate genuine connection. They thought they held the power, but true power lies in being authentic, in embracing a spirit so unique that it can't be imitated or replaced. This shift reminds them of the words of Rumi: "Do not be satisfied with the stories that come before you." Unfold your own myth. Without your presence, they now feel lost, trying to fill a void that can't be filled by anyone else. As they search in vain, they're haunted by the realization that the very energy they tried to control was the one grounding and elevating them. For you, this isn't just about moving on, but stepping into your power, embodying a wisdom that knows when to walk away from those who can't honor your worth. Your spiritual journey calls you to protect your energy, to recognize your own value, and to stop settling for those who only want to drain or diminish you. As Gandhi once said, "First they ignore you, Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. Then you win. This journey teaches the chosen ones to stand firm, knowing that validation is not needed from those who can't see your light. 7. Liberation through disconnection. The journey of the chosen one is often marked by moments of intense transformation, where they must confront and release attachments that have held them back, especially those who have taken advantage of their kindness or tried to manipulate them. This phase of disconnection represents a profound liberation where you, as a chosen one, finally recognize that certain people were only drawing on your energy for their own gain. It's as if a veil lifts, revealing the truth that some relationships were never meant to be a mutual exchange of support, but rather a test of your resilience and an invitation to grow beyond shallow connections. When you step away, breaking free from those who took you for granted, they're left to realize that your energy was a unique gift, something they'll never replicate or find again. This liberation is like emerging from a fog, a true spiritual awakening where the chains of dependency fall away, leaving you with a sense of clarity and renewed purpose. The path of a chosen one is not about bending to others' desires. It's about aligning with your deeper calling, the one that leads to true peace and fulfillment. As you disconnect, you understand the immense power in solitude, a space where you can connect deeply with your spirit, free from the noise of those who only took without giving. This shift doesn't just free you, it empowers you, making you more resilient and spiritually aligned. Those who once misused your kindness are left feeling foolish, unable to find or recreate the energy they once depended on. In today's world, it's easy to get caught in relationships that drain rather than uplift, where people try to control or mold you to serve their agendas. But true freedom is in recognizing that disconnection from these influences is essential for your spiritual well-being. The chosen ones, those who seek a higher purpose and align with it, understand that sometimes solitude is more nourishing than shallow company. By prioritizing your own energy and spirituality, you elevate your life to a level that few can truly understand or appreciate. This disconnection isn't about isolation. It's about self-respect and the courage to walk away from anything that dims your light. Your energy is a reflection of your journey, your trials, and your growth. And once you honor that, those who once doubted you, who tried to play you, will realize they can never find that same light anywhere else. Embrace this power of disconnection as a declaration of self-worth and spiritual resilience, knowing that in letting go, you are not losing, but rather gaining the freedom to walk your path with confidence and integrity. This journey is about welcoming a life of authenticity, peace, and unshakable strength that comes from being true to yourself. Moving forward, free from influences that once held you down, you'll find that your energy not only transforms your own life, but also serves as a beacon for others on their own paths of awakening and empowerment. Your energy is irreplaceable, and those who once took it for granted will be left searching, realizing too late that they missed out on a light they'll never encounter again. Embrace your spirituality and walk forward confidently. You're not losing by disconnecting. You're gaining the freedom to be who you were truly meant to be. If you're still here and resonating with this journey of stepping into your true power, drop a yes in the comments to affirm your commitment to protect your energy and honor your unique light. Let's walk this path together, embracing the strength that comes from knowing your worth and choosing authenticity. 8. Season of Abundance. The journey of a chosen one is filled with moments of deep spiritual awakening and self-discovery, but it's also marked by a separation from energies that no longer serve them. You've stepped away from people and situations that once drained you, and as a result, a powerful transformation is unfolding in your life. This is your time of growth, your season of abundance, where new opportunities flow to you effortlessly, all because you freed yourself from the weight of negativity. Those who tried to play you, to take advantage of your kindness and your light, now realize they misjudged your strength and resilience. They feel the void of your presence. They feel like fools because they thought they could find your energy elsewhere. But what they missed is that your energy is unique, unmatched, a rare frequency born from a genuine, awakened spirit. Now, as they wander through relationships and experiences that feel hollow and unfulfilling, you're moving toward blessings beyond what you once imagined. This new path isn't just about attracting what you desire. It's about recognizing the value you bring and understanding the peace that comes with letting go of what doesn't align with your highest self. People see the changes in you. They feel the shift. It's undeniable. The ones who underestimated you now look on with envy, realizing that while they tried to dim your light, all they did was prepare you for a greater, more authentic journey. And as you continue down this road of spiritual awakening, you're not just healing, you're growing, becoming more attuned to your true calling and opening doors to realms of abundance, wisdom, and peace. This is the reward of the chosen, the freedom to move forward unbound, to attract blessings aligned with your purpose, and to inspire others to seek out their own paths with courage and authenticity. Remember, the strength you now possess wasn't given. It was earned through your resilience, through every trial and every moment you choose to rise above. You are proof that sometimes the best revenge is simply moving forward with grace, leaving behind what no longer resonates with your spirit. This is your time to shine, to be unapologetically yourself, and to live in alignment with the energies that uplift and support you. Embrace this new season of growth with an open heart, knowing that abundance is your birthright, and know that the universe rewards those who stay true to their path. You're the example of what it means to be awakened, to be free from the grasp of negativity, and to live a life that inspires others. So keep moving forward, knowing that everything meant for you is on its way, drawn to the light only you possess. Comment below, "I am stepping into my true power," if you're ready to embrace this season of growth, abundance, and freedom. Let your journey inspire others, and remember, the universe rewards those who stay true to their path. Like, subscribe, and join our community for more empowering content. 9. Closure and self-love. Have you ever been in a situation where you poured your heart and soul into someone, only to later realize that they took you for granted? And now, as you stand tall in your power and peace, they feel like a fool because they lost something priceless: your unique energy, your rare light. Yes, they may have thought they were the player, but the truth is, the player got played. And here's what's beautiful about this moment, this realization. Your journey is about discovering your strength, your inner clarity, and recognizing that not everyone deserves your energy. Spirituality teaches us that every experience, even the painful ones, shapes us and guides us toward the path we're meant to walk. You are the chosen one, and that's not by accident. Think about this. Why do people gravitate toward you, even when they don't always honor you? Perhaps it's because your spirit radiates something they crave, but can't define a wholeness they lack within themselves. Reflect on how this experience has led to your complete closure. A closure that feels different because it isn't just a goodbye. It's a protective barrier, a shield against those who would misuse your kindness and take your energy lightly. As the saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. But let me ask you this. What if that closed door wasn't a loss, but a safeguard for your growth? You've done the work. You've healed, reflected, and risen stronger. And now, you've sealed this chapter so well that those old, manipulative energies can't even find their way back to you. Isn't that liberating? The universe is urging you to move forward securely, free from any toxic remnants. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. You are stepping into that destiny by choosing yourself, by realizing your worth. Imagine this. Someone who thought they could come and go from your life now feels an absence so strong that it unsettles them. They search for your energy in places and people who simply can't match it. Why? Because energy is unique. It's a fingerprint of the soul, and yours is one of a kind. Just as a rare gem can't be found everywhere, neither can your spirit. Isn't that what makes this journey powerful? Spirituality reminds us that not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever. Some come as teachers, others as lessons. You've learned, grown, and now it's time for others to see what they've lost. But the beauty is that you're not lost. You've moved forward, embracing your higher self. As Buddha said, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. You, the chosen one, carry a light that's meant to heal, uplift, and inspire, not to be dimmed or misused by others. Your spiritual journey is about learning how to guard that light, to nurture it in ways that bring you joy and fulfillment. Closure is a form of spiritual armor, and it's one that doesn't let negativity seep back in. They might feel like a fool now, realizing what they've lost, but that's their journey, their lesson. Yours is to keep moving forward with clarity and strength, fully grounded in who you are. So, as you step forward, remember this. You're not leaving anything valuable behind. What you're doing is making space for something new, something that aligns with the energy and peace you've created. 10. Renewal and destiny. In life, there are times when others fail to see your worth, moments when they think they can play you, only to find out too late that they miscalculated. The energy you carry is unique, deep, and irreplaceable. And as the chosen ones who embrace spirituality, you possess a strength and purpose that sets you apart. When people who thought they could manipulate or control you realize they can't find your energy elsewhere, they often feel like fools, faced with the void left by your absence. But this isn't about revenge or proving them wrong. It's about understanding your path and purpose. November brings an opportunity for renewal, a fresh start that is aligned with abundance and transformation. You are stepping into a season where those games and the people who played them no longer matter. Each setback has taught you resilience. Every challenge has honed your strength. And now, you're ready to rise above, grounded in your spiritual power. This month, embrace that growth and recognize that your journey isn't about winning or losing against others. It's about fulfilling your destiny. As you let go of the past, you're opening the door to a future filled with people and opportunities that resonate with your authentic energy. This is your time to walk with purpose, knowing that your spiritual path leads to deeper fulfillment, abundance, and a kind of wisdom that those who underestimated you may never understand. Let November be a testament to your strength and transformation, a reminder that those who couldn't see your worth never had the right to hold your energy. This is your season to embrace who you truly are, empowered and unstoppable. And so, the truth remains hidden yet powerful. When the player thinks they've won, they often discover too late that they've only lost themselves. Your energy, your light, your presence, these are treasures that can't be imitated or replaced. Thank you for joining us today on Spiritual Wisdom. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. And make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos, where we continue exploring Carl Jung's timeless insights and the deeper journey of the soul.